Welcome to Victory Talk. Y'all excited for another edition of Victory Talk? I'm so excited today. Y'all know I get a little carried away when it's time for Victory Talk. So, y'all, come on. Get your phones out. Come on, y'all, your phones. Text somebody, tweet somebody, call some, not y'all, not you guests. Text somebody, tweet somebody, call somebody, invite somebody, and tell them Victory Talk is on. We're going to have a good show tonight. Y'all know I love hot topics because we meet with our sisters, and we started out at a round table back during when the weather was warm, right, Key? We had
Yes.
our round table sister talk. So virtually we're still having our round table sister talk. I'm at my round table. I don't know if y'all at a round table, but I'm still at the round table. And when the pandemic lifts up, when we come back together, physically together, we will be having our sister talk around the round table. But anyway, so I'm excited. We have some really great guests with us tonight. Of course, all as always, our host Kiera Noble, my sister from another mister. And then we have Avonda Paul. Avonda is with us in sound. She's not on camera quite yet, but we know you here, Avonda. Hey, be safe out there. I don't know if she heard me. Be safe out there. And then we have my little sister that I ain't seen in a month of Sundays, other than via Facebook and Zoom and all of those guys. But I'm so proud of this woman. She don't even know she got fans, that be watching from the cheap seats. We be watching from the cheap seats.
See.
She has just done so much amazing stuff. She is pastoring. She's a wife, a mother, a preacher, an author, and y'all, the girl bake.
Yes.
She be baking. Like just the other day, she posted these dad limb strawberry shortcakes.
I
Right?
got you. I got you.
Then a couple weeks back, she was doing a pineapple, some kind of pineapple upside down cake. Shame, shame, shame.
Yes.
She be killing my green smoothie act, boy. She be killing me, boy. She be killing me. But Stephanie M. Atkins,
Yes.
Graham. I just think that is so cute. So we just gonna go ahead and get started and jump in tonight because we got a lot of topics, a lot of good stuff we want to talk about. A lot of good stuff that we want to talk about. So we're gonna get started and talk about. Keith, you want to say anything before I run my mouth off?
Good. Just hey everybody, welcome, and get ready for some juicy, exciting, hot topics.
Yes, and you look so pretty today. Look so pretty,
Thank
both of you
you.
ladies. And Stephanie, before we run on into the topics, come on, you just share a little bit about your background. Share whatever you want to share.
Yes, I do like to bake. Thank you so much for having me on, Lady J. I said, why is she asking me to do this? But anyway, thank you. Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to join your platform. You talk about people in the cheap seats. I've been watching you and Reverend Philip doing big things. And so I am super proud of Victorious Living and Victory Talk.
Yes.
Um, I love to bake. I really do. It is got something baking right now. Bread pudding is in the oven. But in addition to that, you did mention that I'm an author. I just published a book, 59 Weeks, that tells the story of the 59 weeks that I was able to care for my mother. I saw that you all did caregiving a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to be on, but sometimes grief is heavy and it pounces on you and you think you're ready and then you're not ready. And I continue to preach. I thank God for every opportunity that I get to even open up my mouth on his behalf. But I'm excited. I'm excited because I don't very often get to talk about hot topics to anybody other than my husband. So I'm glad to be at the table, at my table, while you all are at your table this evening. So again, thank you so much for the invite.
And Pastor Phil, who is our producer, just said you have an open invitation to come and preach a
Oh,
word at Victorious Living Faith Ministries.
thank you.
So
Thank you, sir.
know that you will hear from him.
Thank you.
And believe you me, if he said it, he meant it.
I know. I
He
know
meant
that. I
it.
do know.
And please tell your husband we said hello.
I will.
Y'all just had an anniversary, didn't you?
No, it's coming.
It's
It's coming
coming.
this
Oh,
month. It's coming this month.
yes, yes. All right now. All right, y'all, let's get into hot topics because we're going to start off with Women's History Month.
Yes.
Women's History Month. I just I love this topic because women are doing so many great things. Just so many great things. Truly, I believe that we are walking in the authority that God has given us. Mm-hmm. And so I just think it is amazing. So the person that I been stuck on for the past couple of days when Key and I talked was Andra Day. Andra Day. Did anybody see the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, this young lady, she hit the daggone scene and she been going.
Yes.
She
amazing.
Going. I stand in awe. I've been even listening to her music. Have you listened to her music?
Yes.
Her sound is just, it just takes you and just pulls you in. Mm-hmm. And it just, her sound reminds you of Billie Holiday, but it has its own kind of flair to it.
It's a little sultry. Sultry.
Yes. You feel yourself, you feel like you sexy when you I had it around here on Alexa on the Everywhere group. I know my husband was like, what is she trying to do? But she is just doing amazing things. And just as I was, researching her and looking into her, I found out that she was founded. Stevie Wonder's wife founded mm-hmm. her. Mm-hmm. And me, she went to Stevie and she said, hey, I think you should take a look at her. And right. Then, things got in the way. And because, the enemy will try to trip you up, try to trip things up or whatever. Some things got in between her and getting to Stevie Wonder. But she was persistent.
Yes.
And he stuck it out, and just like the rest is history, she's just doing amazing things. Just amazing things. And if you have not seen the movie Billie Holiday versus the United States, have either one of you seen it yet?
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet. Nope, it's on my to-do list.
Oh, girl, it's on Hulu.
Woo! It's something.
Is it on Hulu or was it Amazon?
Yes,
it's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah, it was Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what did you think about the movie, Stephanie?
I actually thought at first I started watching it and then I stopped because it was one of those things. I said, "This is gonna make me mad all over again." But then I said, "You know what? I'm not gonna not watch it for that reason." And I am a Billie Holiday fan. Back from Diana Ross, Lady Sing the Blues. So I was interested. I love Andra Day, and I just wanted to see what she brought to the role. I'm just really taken aback, and I shouldn't be surprised at how much we've had to face as a people. But then to see that as women, we also were a threat, such a threat to the government and these United States that we didn't ask to come here in the first place, but that's a whole nother soapbox. But watching the movie, I learned so much stuff that I did not know, that I really feel bad about the fact that she had to endure all of that and that she had to go through all of that. And it made a lot of what I did see of her life as a little kid make more sense. I couldn't figure out why she fell into certain traps and certain lifestyles, but the movie, and I'm not going to be a spoiler, but the movie really made me take a look at, wow, this sister endured all of that. Mm-hmm. Like I listen to Strange Fruit with a whole nother ear now, a whole nother ear. So yeah, I suggest you all do take a look. You, Key.
Oh yeah, it's on my to-do list for sure.
After that, yeah.
And I don't want to be a spoiler. But I have to say this. I was so frustrated mm-hmm. with the actions of her husband, or one of her husbands.
One of them, yeah.
I was so, when your spouse conspires against you, can you only, I can't even imagine.
Not at all.
I can't. I just really can't.
Mm-hmm.
So
The
yeah.
ultimate betrayal. That's the ultimate
Yes.
betrayal. That's the
Yes.
ultimate sleeping with the enemy. That's the ultimate
Yes.
betrayal.
Yes. And then another little tidbit that I found to be very interesting is she's a hometown girl.
Mm-hmm.
Right here out of Baltimore.
Yep.
You know, Fells Point. She's like, I know my way around Fells Point
Fells
real good. You know, and this is the character of Billie Holiday that we're talking about right now. So yeah, she was a hometown girl, and so she went through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in her a little 46 years of life, she went through a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so that was something deep. So that's just my thought on Billie Holiday. But I also want to talk about some of our other women that are making history in 2020, 2021. Of course, we've talked about young Gorman, Amanda Gorman. We talked about her about maybe a month or two ago, and just how she, between her and Vice President Kamala Harris, how they just busted the glass ceiling. We talked about them, but I do want to talk about two young ladies, and I'm not really into the sports arena, but I think that this is very important and very powerful. Sarah Thomas, this year for the Super Bowl, the first female football referee.
Yes.
She was hired as the first full-time female official in the NFL in 2015. But in February, she became the first woman to officiate the Super Bowl. I was in.
Yes.
And really and truly, I don't care what color she is. She's
Right.
a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She's a woman. So I just think that was just amazing. And then as I dug a little deeper, anybody baseball fans? Anybody?
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of. Like, I'm not really into the sports thing. I digress. Because I love football.
Right.
But I'm kind of partial. I love football for my Ravens.
Right.
And if the Ravens ain't really playing, I'm not all caught up in it. But I watch some Ravens now. I will do that. But a young lady by the name of Kim Ang, and her name is her last name is NG. Kim NG, and it's pronounced Ang. But she, Major League Baseball, the Miami Marlins hired her as their general manager.
Yeah, I did know that.
Wow. That's big for women, especially in areas where we were not accepted, not looked upon as being equal. I mean, there's so many areas still right now that we're not looked upon as being equal. But this is one of those areas that I feel like it's a big deal in the sports arena. It's really a big deal in the sports arena because they not only, I don't want to say infiltrated for female teams, but male teams. They are with men. And I think that is so amazing that we are, putting our mark out there, and we're letting young ladies, our daughters, our granddaughters, our great grandchildren to come, to know that there's nothing that you can't do.
Yes.
Nothing. Kalia gonna be doing something, and it ain't gonna be just with them baby doll.
I know that's right.
It won't be just with the babies. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna, and she gonna know that I can do this. I wish I had looked up some of the women working under the STEM projects, but I know that there's so many. And if you guys got any women for women's history, come on with it. Come on, you got anybody you want to call out?
I just want to give a little bit of background, because we've been talking about kind of like what's been going on with the current stuff with the women. But I think it's important to recognize, how Women's History Month came to be, because as you were stating, we as women of all colors, shapes, ages, sizes have had to fight for so long, for any form or sense of equality, in comparison to our counterparts. And so it's basically a month-long celebration, which, we just carry on like way past. It still is Black History year, day, every day for me. But it's a chance to acknowledge women's contributions to history, culture, and society. And it's actually been observed annually since 1987 in the United States, which I was unaware, that it had been around that long, because you just don't hear about these things until, things happen, and then you start to hear about them. But all the way back in 1908 in New York City, thousands of women marched for better labor laws, conditions, and the right to vote. So it goes back way beyond even, when it started to become recognized. And, you want to talk about some names. We got Rosa Parks, who helped to initiate the civil rights movement in the United States. If you don't know anybody else, Rosa Parks for not giving up that seat on that bus. So the other, Shirley Chisholm, is another one. She was the first African American from a major political party to run for president, which I didn't know. So like, as I'm educating myself, and doing research for these topics, I'm learning a lot of positive information that I can pass on. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was the second female justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. Rest in peace to her. And, Hillary Clinton, and like you mentioned, Kamala Harris. So there are just so many powerful women that have paved the way and, came before us. And I'm just so appreciative, of them and all of their sacrifices that they made. And we're going to continue to rock this thing out. Girl power all day. Okay.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up, Key, just running the list, because it also made me think about today. This week I've been teaching my students about women's history as it relates to Black history. And this week we focused on Maya Angelou. And when I brought her up and started to share with them her journey and how she had been a part of civil rights, I realized in my own mind, in my own spirit, that she actually paved the way for Amanda Gorman. Maya Angelou was the one who stood there when President Clinton became the president and was the poet who delivered her own writing. And then here we are, Maya Angelou has passed away, and here we are in 2021, and another sister is able to stand in that place. And our young girls and our young daughters, like you said, Lady J, don't even realize that they're going to be standing on somebody else's shoulders, that one day that could be her granddaughter or my granddaughter. And we really need to empower them to recognize that how they got over. That somebody else opened that door and made that opportunity for you. And so, we think about her as a poet and a writer, but we never talk about the story that's behind, her life, the backdrop. One of my students said to me, Miss Atkins, Maya Angelou was raped by her mother's boyfriend and she didn't talk. Yes, but that made them want to read the book. Oh, I want to hear more about her. And so if we just pique our young people's interest, we'll learn so much ourselves. Because I knew that she was, but I didn't know she was 8. So, and doing the research, like you said, you find out stuff for yourself. And I'm like, wow, that's a story that needs to be told. So,
yeah, it's amazing. It is amazing. We have a couple comments. Miss Victoria said, we can bring home the bacon and fry it up in the pan. And
that's that Angelique commercial.
Yes, I know. And she says, I love Stacey Abrams. She's another one.
Yes.
You know what? This election would not, in my opinion, let me just say in my opinion, this election would not have gone the way that it had gone had it not been for her.
Yes.
Also, we don't like the way things work out. But Jeremiah 29:11, we don't know the plans that God has for us.
Right.
You know, the plans we know the plans. We know the plans that God has for us. A plan to prosper us, a plan to grow us. Had she not have lost the election that she was running, we would not have won the war. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Had she have not, because I think that things would have played out in a different way. Truly would have played out in a different way. And so, and even her, I seen an interview with her a couple of weeks ago. Wow. Just wow.
Yes.
And she was destined to do and to be in the position that she's in.
Yes.
You know, so that was just my 2 cents. But let's talk about some of our hometown sisters. You know, some of our sisters right here. You know, y'all know I'm close to Deborah. And so I was thinking about Deborah Franklin. She's paving the way for,
the CEO, church girl. Yes.
Church girl CEO is paving. She's our publisher. She's, she's our teacher, motivator, speaker. I mean, Deborah, if you're watching, we salute you, sister.
Hey.
Thank you,
big sister. And so, I definitely want to throw her out there. And then Stephanie, when I was cruising your page the other day, I noticed that you had a post about Rev Cecilia Bryant.
Yes.
She's another one.
And her book, that's perfect for your marriage ministry.
Yeah.
This book she just wrote on covenant marriage. Woo, child.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought about you. I was like, all right.
I'm going to have to look for that.
Yes.
It's called Covenant Marriage?
Covenant Marriage, yes.
Oh, I'm going to definitely have to look for that. We may have to, is that on Amazon? We may have to put that in our bookstore.
I think it is on Amazon.
Okay. But yeah, she's just amazing. Amazing. And you know what? I love to hear her pray.
Oh, yes.
Whew.
Yes.
She can, can convict the paint.
Did you say the paint?
The paint on the wall. She can take down the paint on the wall. So that's a bad sister. That is a bad woman of God. So
anointed. She is anointed.
Yes. Yes, she is absolutely anointed. All right, y'all. So that'll take us on to our next thought. What y'all thinking about? Key?
So
said I concur.
I didn't even when I was researching this next topic, I didn't even really realize that it was going to take me where it was going to take me, but I'm really excited to talk about it because it's something that we haven't talked about yet on Victory Talk. So I guess, did y'all hear about the whole controversy behind the Dr. Seuss situation? Anybody? No?
Yeah, I heard a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Seuss has turned into the tale of the cancel culture. Now, I know y'all been heard about the cancel culture. There was 6 of his books that they have pulled from the shelves, and they're stopping publication because of racist and insensitive imagery. So there's 6 of them, but they only really identified 2. The first one is called "And to Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street." And it depicted an Asian person wearing a conical hat. I think I'm saying that right. Those hats that kind of look like a teepee a little bit. And they were carrying chopsticks while holding a rice bowl. And then in the next book, it's called "If I Ran the Zoo." And there was a drawing of 2 barefoot Black African men wearing what appeared to be grass skirts with their hair tied above their head. And so as I was reading this, I'm just kind of like, okay, I didn't realize, that it had went into the whole cancel culture situation. But what do you guys think about this whole, time period that we're in with, the cancel culture? And do you think that we as people are becoming too sensitive or getting offended too easily? Now, this is not my personal opinion, but I'm asking because, I know that there's 2 sides of the fence on it. And I'm just curious to know, are we being too sensitive with things? Are we, just even, down to the Aunt Jemima, them changing the syrup and Uncle Ben's and all of this stuff. Like, what do you guys think about that?
Well, personally, I don't think, and I did not. Those are two books I haven't read.
Me either.
I don't think we're too sensitive. I don't think we're too sensitive. I think, and this is has a lot to do with what I call my blog and what I call my ministry. I am just a voice. I don't think that it's been sensitivity. I think that now we're empowered. I think we have a voice now. Mm-hmm. I think for so long we were intimidated and even fearful about speaking up. And so now we are empowered because we just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, as Fannie Lou Hamer would say. And I think now we are speaking out. You go through the airport and it says, don't put your bag down. But then the next thing you see is, if you see something, say something. Well, we've been seeing stuff for a long time. We just haven't been saying anything. And so now that we have a voice and we're actually exercising and projecting that voice, it's like, oh, you're too sensitive. Oh, everybody want to pull the race card. It's always been a race card. Mm-hmm. We just never played it. You all did. Right. And so, I think now is the time for us to just call it what it is. There is privilege. There always has been privilege. Mm-hmm. But, we've been so comfortable and laxed with being the maid and being the butler that it was okay to talk about Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben's. And it was okay for cartoons to depict all these things that are racially insensitive. Mm-hmm. I think that when it really came out was when we started to see people who had money and wealth paying for their children to get into colleges and universities and paying for scores on their SATs. When we've always had to do the work. We always had to work twice as hard. And sometimes twice as hard wasn't even enough. We always had to be twice as good. I'm tired of us being the token. And so, no, we're not just sensitive. We're just disgusted, frustrated, and we now have a voice. And so we're exercising our freedom of speech.
And I love that answer. That's so good because I really truly believe that a lot of people that have issue and take issue with these things like that, like I was having a conversation with somebody and they were just like, oh, I'm so sick of, everybody being so sensitive. And now you got, you can't call a gay person, like you have to figure out all of this different, language and lingo and stuff like that to call it. And I'm just like, okay, but that's not you. That's why you feel that way about it. You know what I mean? If something is offensive to me for whatever reason, it's offensive to me, and so we really can't hold people, unaccountable for these things and just continue to give them a pass just because of what they're used to. Right. This is the new normal for everybody, whatever, on any, spectrum that it is, just like, disabled or, handicapped people, being in the business that I'm in and having to be careful with what I say, because of the fair housing, stuff like that. I'm used to it. So I'm used to being careful with my wording and not being able to say different things. But I just feel like it's time for everybody else to catch up. Like, don't be mad because you have to change what you're used to saying or the way that you're used to operating, because it's not fair to the people who have been, dealing with it for all this time.
Right, exactly.
Miss Victoria said, once you know better, prayerfully you do better. Is it helpful to go back and correct every wrong? I think it's more feasible to bring these things to the carpet in the now. And yeah, Miss Victoria, I agree. And so we have to operate in what's going on right now. Trying to go back to yesterday, how much of that are we going to be able to change, correct, or undo? Right. But if our focus is on what's going on today, and in the future, to do better. Yes. Hey, Avonda, can you hear us okay?
I can hear y'all, but I have a really bad connection right now, and I see Noble frozen on my screen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, we can hear you okay right now, and you're not frozen. You're not frozen to us.
Okay. That's a good thing.
So yeah, this Dr. Seuss thing, and this I think it is just it's just opening up what's already been there and bringing it really to the forefront, and people are just really starting to take notice. The past 8 years has brought about a whole lot.
Yes.
And the nice thing about it is it's out there now. It's no putting it back in the box.
Right.
And just because an individual is no longer in that position, you can't run and tuck your head and act like you weren't a part of it. It's out there now. You're out there. It's pretty much, yeah.
And if the shoe was on the other foot, we'd be canceled in a heartbeat.
Wouldn't we?
We'd be canceled in a heartbeat.
Yes.
So,
without a doubt. Without a doubt. And so that takes us right into our next topic. And I kind of, I loosely went over this because the threats, and I just kind of felt like it did not really deserve all of our attention. But this QAnon talk, about their inauguration for March the 4th, for Trump. Bull crap. It was a whole bunch of tomfoolery. I do understand that the government had to acknowledge these threats. I understand that they had to take it serious because they did not take January 6th serious.
right.
And they didn't do anything until stuff was already popping off. So things were already happening. But many of these QAnon crackpots, they haven't given up. And so we really have to be diligent and be watchful because a whole lot they still believe that Trump is going to return to power.
Right.
And Phil says always, a person's perception is their reality.
It's their reality. Yes, it is.
No matter how cray it is.
Right. And D God knows that.
That is buffoonery.
Yeah, isn't it? Oh my gosh.
It's delusion.
Yes.
But it should also make us look at the people who have the actual power, because we could have made sure that this didn't happen. We could have made sure he never got another opportunity to run for anything, but it wasn't done. So.
And come on now, how many of us watched those hearings and actually thought that he was going to be convicted? Who thought it? Because I didn't.
You know what? I didn't watch the hearings because I y'all know I can't. It was too much. So I said, I'm not going to watch the hearings, but I'm not going to lie. When the decision came, when the actual voting was happening, I was sitting in my bed, my husband beside me, and we're watching attentively. And I'm, listening, and my heart's racing, and I'm watching everybody that says yes, yes, yes. And even some of the Republicans that flipped and said yes, and Democrats that said no. And I'm just like praying the whole time, like watching. And you try to prepare yourself as much as you can for whatever, outcome it's going to be. But
admittedly, I was disappointed.
Yes.
I can't even put it into words how I felt. Like I was disgusted. I was upset. I was disappointed. I was everything, because I just don't understand how, even just after everything, even if even if at the beginning you were, oh, hey, let's give this guy a chance, but after everything and still, I'm like,
After January 6th, after the comments after January 6th, after the comments after the impeachment, like, it just would not stop.
Right.
It would not stop. And I just kept saying, oh, I'm so glad I know Jesus. Oh, I'm so glad I know Jesus.
Because you seen him for who he was. You seen him for who he was.
And he didn't try to hide
And
it.
he didn't try
Not
to
at
hide it
all.
at all. So,
Ever.
and first of all, he should have never made it that far.
Right.
I still don't understand how he even got to the White House. But
Right,
that's neither here nor
exactly.
there.
Well, I
What-
told y'all that was get back for Obama. That's all that
Oh,
was.
yeah.
That's how he got there, because
Yeah.
they were trying to play tit for tat, and yeah, that's how he got there.
what concerns me is that the people, the individuals, we'll call them, the individuals who did not vote to convict him. Where was your empathy? Where was your sympathy? Where was your compassion? Where was your understanding for the people who went through January 6th? The police officer, the life was lost. Those that were, barricaded in rooms, and that feeling. We had a niece that was there that day, and we can remember talking to her and how they were huddled together and what they were going through and how they were feeling. How could you sit there and listen to all of that testimony and not be moved to vote to keep this man from having the opportunity? Because now he has the opportunity to go back and do more. And not only him, but they have shown other countries, they have shown other candidates, oh, we can do cray and get away with it.
Exactly. And the number of people who represented the government and lawyers who were a part of that insurrection. Like,
and I've been seeing the Trump 2024 bumper stickers and stuff.
oh my God, are you serious?
Yes, they are. Yes, I absolutely have lately, and I'm just like, oh Lord, help us, Lord.
Please.
That's all. That's it.
Just so much. It's just so much. And then just on on the 4th, how many National Guard, how many troops did they have to deploy to prepare for if something happens?
Right, exactly.
That's
that
our
money,
first-
money and manpower, money and manpower for that.
Yes.
And we will always have to be on guard.
Yeah.
I was going to say they have to take now that that's happened, things are never going to be the same. They have to take these, this intel and stuff, any tips that they're getting as they're monitoring this stuff, they have to take it seriously, because you just never know. And the Capitol Police, actually, they said on the news today, they've asked that the National Guard remain in place for at least the next 30 days, because they probably tried to pull a slick move and like, oops, we got discovered for the 4th, so let's just postpone this thing, till later on. So now they got to stay on guard.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's mad crazy. And then the biggest, they're spending money for this, but you can't get the stimulus packages together for these people who need it.
Right.
You can't.
Did y'all hear? And I know this wasn't one of our topics, but since you mentioned that, did y'all hear about the senator that demanded that the whole entire stimulus package be read, so that he could hold up the process?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
And apparently, everybody has to say, "Okay, let's move on." If one person says
no,
no, that I want. And he demanded that it be read in its entirety, 1,000 pages.
Yep. And these people aren't affected by it.
Line by line.
Right.
And they're not affected by it. They don't need it.
I said, this is just terrible. Like, people are Republican, Democrat, Schmemocrat. Like, stop playing.
I feel like it's a whole nother form of slavery. I just do. I hate to say it. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I just feel like this is just another form of slavery. As if we haven't done enough to you, we will continue to do more. And if it doesn't affect all of you, we'll make sure that it affects a large portion of you. But there are people who really need that, who really need food, who still don't have jobs, who can't pay their bills. There are people that really need that. And it's like dangling a bone in front of you saying, oh, we're going to give you the stimulus, but it's going to be when we say. You know,
Right.
it's just a travesty.
When I think about, and again, this is not one of our topics, Key, but when I
It's
think
okay.
about Martin's East down in Middle River, you guys know where that is? Key, I know
Hmm.
you know where it's at, Stephanie.
I live over there now.
Oh, girl, you
Oh, you're right
close,
down the street from
okay?
me.
When I think about that, they are closing.
Hmm.
They are closing.
It's sold already.
It's sold already
Wow.
Yeah, the
due to
building's
the
sold.
pandemic. So if that big,
Wow. I didn't know that.
establishment is closing out, what do you think is happening to the little people?
Right, right.
That's
I know.
major.
I
That
know.
is major. And so, y'all, come on, let's go. Let's run on up the street to these COVID scams.
Okay,
Hmm.
yeah. So there are five major COVID scams that are, that Yahoo had published and put out there, and I just wanted to touch briefly on each one of them, just, for all of our viewers out there, because we can't just assume that everybody is in the know, or kind of knows how to navigate around and through these things. And people are getting scammed every day out here in these COVID streets, as my sis Shireen says. The first one is the stimulus payments. So people are, the newest phishing scam is encouraging you to click on these links because, of course, everybody is wanting to know, where their payment is or when it's coming or track it
Right.
or whatever have you. So they're creating these links so that you can click on it. And once you click on it, then the hackers get access to all types of information from your bank accounts to your social security numbers. So just make sure that when you are looking up your payments that you are going to the actual, website, the secured website. There's a designated site for, where's my payment or, if it's stimulus payments. Most of it goes through the IRS. So we just want to make sure that everybody is mindful of that. There's also a lot of fake charity scams going on right now. And, this part really made me sad because there's a lot of organizations out there that's raising money right now to help COVID victims and their families. And, it's just really unfortunate that you have to do a bunch of research before you even think about, donating to a cause because people are just taking advantage. But they're saying that, to do your research before entering your credit card information in any of these sites. And some telltale signs of fake charities are ones that have a really, big sense of urgency. They're vague about how your money will be used, or they're thanking you for donations that you never made. There's a website that's called, or it may be an app, it's called Charity Navigator. You can actually type the name of it inside of there and it'll tell you whether it's legit or not. And there's five, but the fraudulent sites that's claiming to sell PPE, just be careful of that because as things are starting to reopen and people are going to be traveling more, scammers are, they're banking on a new wave of people that's going to be trying to buy up this equipment. So just, keep in mind that I always say go with what you know, stick with what you know. Amazon, is my go-to for most things. Walmart, these major, suppliers instead of the cheapest route ain't always it. Okay.
True.
Um, the income tax identity theft, just be careful, watch out for that because they said that the IRS has already identified 135 million in fraudulent returns in the first
Wow.
2 months alone. So they have malware bites that block things. For my IT people out there, I don't know nothing about it. But my hubby got us covered because I don't know nothing about it. But the malware will help you, and it's they have it like free for 30 days, and then it's like $4.99 a month to kind of help you on that front. And the last and final one is these fake job scams. So, a lot of people are out of work, during COVID, and yet again, people are being taken advantage of. So some telltale signs of some of these stay-at-home jobs to look out for are ones that promise you a job off the bat. They guarantee that you'll make money. It says that you can work from home and they ask you to use your own money up front. You should not have to front any cost at all to do a job, unless, if you're starting a business, that's kind of different because it might, it involves a lot. But yeah, those are 5 kind of major COVID scams that's going on right now. So we want everybody to be careful, because if you're, once it's out there, this identity theft thing is real, and it destroys lives, and it takes years upon years to get
Right, to
fixed.
recover.
So be careful.
And then there's also a lot of scams around the vaccines. As we was
saw that too.
researching, it's a lot of scams around the vaccines. Being asked to pay out of pocket to receive the vaccine, being asked to pay to get your name on a list to get the vaccine is unreal. Just
Well, you're not supposed to have to pay at all. Isn't it? It's supposed to be free.
right.
And you would not believe how many people, fall for stuff like that because they just don't know.
Yeah. Don't fall for the tomfoolery, y'all.
And please don't be getting no back alley COVID shot. Don't be pulling. Listen,
that's the okie doke. Yeah.
Look, we keep it real on Victory Talk. Okay, the drive-through at the pharmacy is fine. Please don't be driving in nobody's alley back behind no buildings talking about they giving out COVID shots, because
they might be giving out something, but it ain't COVID shots.
It ain't COVID shots.
What do y'all think about these states that are opening up? 16 states that are lifting the mandate to wear masks and opening back up.
That governor in Alabama, I said, lady, sit down. First of all, there should be an age limit. You should have to retire at some point.
Agreed.
Take her license and take her position. But the fact that you said, I'm not going to mandate people wear masks because people are being vaccinated, to me, just puts other people at jeopardy. I watched on the news, I saw people sitting in bars. I saw people in restaurants. I saw people at sporting events. This one store said the staff have to wear masks, but the patrons, it's optional. Well, you're not protecting your staff if your staff are wearing masks and your patrons is optional. I mean, I just think that if we follow, because some of this is common sense. Nobody needed to tell me that there was a mandate. The governor didn't have to say put on the mask. Right. I was going to wear mine anyway. Right. So why is it that a governor can tell you to stop wearing it and you're going to stop wearing it? Another form of slavery. I'm telling you. Somebody has to tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and when to stop doing it. Like, come on, people, please.
Yes. It just requires...
And my concern with that is that the more, and I was telling Lady J when we were chatting about it, that there was a couple people on my Facebook list when, the Texas governor, announced his openings of business at 100% and not having to wear the mask. And it's people, on the Facebook like, oh, Texas, anyone? Who wants to go to Texas? And everybody's like, oh, yeah, let's go. Are y'all kidding me?
Right,
like, my concern is that everybody else is going to follow suit. And even though we say that we're going to wear a mask, which we will, and I plan on, my husband and I, talked about that for future years to come now during cold and flu season. Oh, we will be wearing masks.
Yeah.
But my concern is that the businesses and the places are going to start saying that you can't. And then what do we do if we want to continue to protect ourselves and we can't go in Walmart or the grocery store because they're no longer allowed?
Right, because they're going to use a reason or have a reason. Well, we don't know. We feel threatened. The bank is going to say that. And so they are going to find some type of way to say, well, you can't come in here with your face covered. Okay, well, then you will lose my money and I will have to receive my service some other way. Instacart.
Or something. Amen. Because I'm not.
It's real in these streets.
It is.
It is real in these.
Mama said there'd be days like this.
And I'm telling you, I could not believe it. Alaska, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Iowa, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, and now Texas.
And are any of those black states or blue states? No. Hello.
I'm glad you ran down the list, because when COVID was happening and these people was running around doing all this craziness, I was jotting down, okay, I won't be moving here, because they cray.
And I wouldn't move any of those places anyway, because they don't want you there.
Ma'am, what you talking about? Move where? I dare you to try to leave Baltimore County.
Oh no, I'm not
Or
going nowhere.
leave Maryland.
I'm
will
talking
hunt
about
you down.
ever. Like these are places that I marked on my permanent to not go
Right.
to. No, sir.
And probably won't visit unless I absolutely have
Have
to.
to. Yes.
Might not
Yes.
even visit. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And it is not, I mean, it's not everybody in the state. Because I was reading, the mayor over in Texas, he was saying he's urging the governor to keep the mask mandate in place.
Right.
Wearing the mask keeps our businesses and our schools and our children safe. But yeah, they're not listening. They just got one track mind. Got one track mind. So I don't want to forget us about the schools. Key, what you on the schools?
So yeah, and it's just it's crazy how this is all just like rolling.
Flowing, right?
Next, yes. So on the schools, Baltimore County went back to school on this past Monday, and so they have all this craziness going on with the kids that are going to school are 2 days in school and then 3 days off, and I just feel like, it's too soon. Lady J and I were talking about, the fact that there are still, I think they said like 8% of like people have been vaccinated, which is nothing on, the grand scheme of things. Like they're saying all these thousands and thousands, but 8% is a very small number.
Yeah.
The teachers have not been vaccinated. The staff, the children are like last way down on the list.
Oh yeah, they're probably not even doing children.
Not anytime
before
soon.
the fall.
So, and I just wanted to know, what everybody else's thoughts about this is, and a lot of people that I know or that I come across are, and to each his own. But I'm just like, by the grace of God, my daycare is, enabling our children to continue to go all day, because I'm like, yeah, maybe next year, but not right now, especially considering the fact that they're going to be sitting in the classroom doing the same thing that they're doing at home. Children who receive special education services, yes, absolutely, because they are lacking and they're struggling and they're falling behind. But everybody else, everything is just so rushed. Like, what? And the governor, look, I used to be Team Hogan, y'all. Like, that was my guy. Like, I could appreciate the way that he handled this whole pandemic and, was just really looking out. But he's starting to show another side now. He's starting in his little presidential bid that he's got going on. He's starting to really, do some flip the script type stuff that I'm not liking. And this whole, he's pushing, he even threatened to sue like the school union and all of this stuff. He's allowing the people to pressure him now into doing what they feel, because he's worried about votes. Like, sir, what happened to keeping us safe?
Exactly.
What's that song? I See Your True Colors.
Yep, he did what he needed to do to get us on his side for just a little while.
Right.
Yes, and I'm
He
like,
flipped the script too. I'm like, oh, okay, I forgot you are a Republican.
Yeah.
and I listen, and the way that he was operating and all that, because I'm a very firm believer of voting for the right person, regardless of what their party,
Right, exactly.
But if it's another one that's gonna get it done, that's who I'm voting for.
Right.
But he didn't did a face off, Nicolas Cage, like. Who are you? Now, what happened? What happened, Larry?
I have major concerns. I mean, right now, I don't have any school age. Not no right now. I no longer had no school age children.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
Let me just, And Lord, this was not, that was a Freudian slip. But I have grandchildren. We have grandchildren going into school age, and nieces and nephews of school age. But my biggest concern is that if you haven't been vaccinated, the child next to them is not vaccinated. All these teachers have not been vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? And so you coming out of home, and the children are carriers. Come on now. What, just because, there's a vaccine, on the move, the children are no longer carriers?
Right.
Right.
They're no longer super spreaders. That was the whole reasoning behind the virtual learning, is because you realize that, the children are, they spreaders. They were germ carriers before COVID-19.
Oh yes,
Right.
absolutely.
And so now they majorly and the children are equally being as affected as the adults are. There's some children that have not come back from this.
Oh yeah. Oh
It's,
yeah.
that's my concern. And
Yeah.
so, how many months left in the school year?
And then that's another
3.5.
thing. Like, yes, we're halfway
We're
through
almost at
third
spring
quarter.
break. Yeah, we're almost at spring break.
Yeah.
So then
So like
right?
y'all just couldn't wait.
Why jeopardize it?
And they even said at the beginning of all of this, the vaccine is because what they were trying to say. Some guy was on the news this morning and he was asked directly, is there any proof just yet that the vaccine is going to keep, the transmission down? And of course he said yes, because he was put on the spot. Lies, because you don't know if it's going. We're prayerful that that's what it's going to be and that it's going to be effective, but you don't know. It's too new, number one. And number two, y'all, I mean, the vaccines they were rushed, they just got put out and they were rushed. So like they said at the beginning of this that it would take like a year, 18 months or something like that,
Before you even know.
People getting it before, things would calm down. And y'all just soon, vaccine, 5 people got it. Let's go.
And now you might have to get a continuous shot every year.
Just like the flu shot.
Just like the flu shot. Yeah. Yeah. So we just gonna keep be prayerful. I'm gonna keep wearing my mask.
Oh, me too. Absolutely.
We got 1 minute, y'all. I'm gonna keep wearing my mask. And, right. Washing my hands.
Face shields, sanitizer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Lysol spray, because I'm spraying. Listen, it took a while. It was out of stock, but I got my little minis back now.
Girl,
so you cough around me if you want to. You get sprayed in the eye, in the mouth, somewhere, because I'm not playing.
I don't care how old you are. You can be grown or baby. Cough if you want to.
Yes.
Cough and sneeze if you want to. All right, y'all. We just got a minute or two left. Let's talk about. Oh, Key don't want to talk about this. I know she don't want to talk about this.
You can talk about it.
The cicadas are coming.
Oh God. Those things gross me out.
You know what? I was having a moment the other night.
Already? Jeez.
Philip and I were talking about it, and I was having a moment. I was like, all them trees out there, and they talk about millions per acre. We got a half an acre. That means how many half a million we gonna be getting? Like, I was having a moment. I just had to try to get myself to.
I'm getting potty train my dog. That's all I'm saying, because you can't go out.
God.
I'm not.
Those cicadas are like on attack.
They are, and that's what I was telling, Lady J. I remember the last time they came, and where I was working on York Road, and they were real heavy there. And when I pulled up, I'm telling you, everything was clear. And when I pulled on that lot, every window of my car was covered. I could not see out.
Yes. Oh gosh, I can't.
And it's not like those bugs that won't, don't bother you if you bother them.
Oh no, they coming right at you.
But
Straight to your face.
I tried to figure out as I was looking into them. Do they bite y'all?
I don't think they bite at all.
Okay.
But they
It's
will
just annoying.
And the
They're
noise.
They're annoying, the noise, and they're crunchy. They're like flying cockroaches or something.
Yes.
Okay, I'm done.
So
People eat them.
Y'all won't see me.
People eat them.
I'm gonna be in a bubble.
Oh,
I'll have on a mask and a shield.
Listen, that's probably the only way that I'm gonna get through and a bag over my head so they can't get in my hair.
Oh
I'm gonna look like the boy. Y'all seen the movie The Boy in the Plastic Bubble? That's
Yes.
Oh, that's real old, Key. That's real old.
I'm not as young as I look.
I see you, Cougar. I see you. All right, y'all. Well, that's it. I just wanted us to close on a lighter note because some of that stuff we was talking about was getting a little deep.
A little heavy.
Deep. Avonda, I don't know if you can hear us, but sweetie, we hope that you will be able to.
I can't.
Yolanda says she wears 2 masks and she says she's afraid of the cicadas. She remembers when it happened the last time.
Oh yeah,
But the way that they're predicted now, they are saying that it's going to be like real bad.
yeah, yeah.
So
All right, y'all. Key, come on, close us out.
we just want to say thank you so much, ladies. Avonda, we wish that you could have spent a little bit more time, but we will have you back again, when your connection is a little bit better. Sister Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure. It was so much fun. We laugh. We talk about some serious topics, but, we try to keep it lighthearted as well and just to keep everybody engaged. And, we hope that everybody enjoyed the show this evening. And that's what we got.
That's what we got.
I'm Key, your co-host for Victory Talk, and
Lady J.
Lady J. Woo, woo. We got to come up with a little jingle or something. So, because y'all know we had to come up with a little something for our intro. Okay.
Girl, you had him over here working on something.
Oh no, no.
The mad scientist will be doing something.
I know he can't help himself. Yeah. And thank you to our producer, as always, the man working behind the scenes, Pastor Phil. We so greatly appreciate you and everything that you do. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight to Victory Talk. We are so excited to see you again next week. Same time, same place, 7 p.m. Thank you for joining us this evening. We love you, everybody.
Love you.
And good night.
Good night.